In the richest country on Earth, where billion-dollar tech giants rise above the skyline and luxury homes boast infinity pools, there's a different America, one that the world rarely sees. An America hidden behind the shiny surface. An America that exists in alleyways, under bridges, in parking lots, and on cold sidewalks. Here, millions of people are not chasing dreams. They're chasing food, warmth, safety. They're not thinking about promotions or vacations. They're thinking about how to stay alive through the night. This is the side of America where poverty is not just a statistic. It's a daily war, where people are not just poor, they're broken, abandoned, and struggling. And yet, we walk past them every day. We avoid eye contact, we change sidewalks, we scroll past, slipping into poverty. Poverty in America doesn't always hit like a storm. Sometimes, it's a slow fall, a series of small tragedies that pull someone deeper and deeper until they're completely swallowed. It starts with a job loss, a layoff, a company closes, and without savings, because millions of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, that lost job means rent can't be paid. Then comes the eviction notice. Credit cards fill the gap. For a while, but soon, they max out. Friends stop picking up the phone, family gets tired of helping, and little by little, life unravels. Healthcare, too, is a killer. One illness, one injury, one hospital bill, and a person can lose everything. A broken leg can break a life. A cancer diagnosis can lead to homelessness faster than most imagine. In America, getting sick is a financial risk, not just a health crisis. Most of the poor in America didn't start out poor. They worked, they paid taxes, they tried. But in a country where the cost of living rises faster than wages, trying is no longer enough. One slip, and the fall begins. On the streets, homelessness is not just about losing a roof. It's about losing everything else with it: safety, privacy, stability, dignity. Once you're on the street, your life shrinks down to survival. People sleep in alleyways, under freeways, in cars, in tents, or out in the open. Every night is uncertain. It could rain, it could freeze. Someone might steal your few belongings. Someone might assault you. There's no lock on a sidewalk, no privacy in a tent. Hygiene becomes a luxury. Finding a public bathroom is harder than it should be. Showers are rare. Clean clothes, rarer still. For women, menstruation is a nightmare. For parents, keeping kids clean and safe is nearly impossible. And society doesn't offer much compassion. In fact, it often offers disgust. People walk past. Some mutter insults. Others call the police, not to help, but to move them away. As if being homeless makes someone dangerous. As if being poor makes someone less human. Tent cities. Across America, especially in major cities like Los Angeles, San Francisco, Portland, and Seattle, tent cities have become the new slums. These are not small clusters. These are entire communities. Hundreds of people living in tents, tarps, makeshift shacks, old RVs, and anything else they can find. Some stay for weeks, others for years. Some arrive with just a backpack. Others arrive after losing everything. In these tent cities, people form mini-societies. They share food, water, blankets. They look out for each other because no one else does. In the absence of government support, they become each other's lifeline. But they also live under constant threat. City sweeps, where police and sanitation crews tear down camps, can happen without warning. One day, a person has a small corner of stability. The next, everything they own is tossed into a dump truck. No warning, no shelter offered, just displacement. People live in these camps because they have no other option. Shelters are often full or unsafe. Affordable housing is a myth in most cities. Wait lists are years long, and so these tents become homes, not by choice, but by necessity. When the system abandons people, the streets become their world. And in that world, survival often demands sacrifices, prostitution, specifically survival sex. Many homeless women, and sadly even some teens, engage in it not because they want to, but because they have to. It's not about desire. It's about staying alive, trading their body for a night in a motel, for food, for protection. It's dangerous. It's traumatic, but it's real. And it's happening across cities every single night. The streets are filled with predators who take advantage of this desperation. And police often criminalize the victims instead of helping them. Drugs are everywhere too. People say addiction causes homelessness. Sometimes, yes. But more often, homelessness leads to addiction. People use drugs to escape their reality. Fentanyl, heroin, meth. It's not about partying. It's about numbing the pain, blurring the misery, staying awake so you don't get robbed, staying high so you don't feel the cold. Mental illness is another silent scream on the streets. Many homeless people suffer from untreated schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, PTSD. They need therapy, medication, stability, but they get none of that. Instead, they're left to wander cities, talking to themselves, hallucinating, breaking down in public, while society looks away. And then there's crime. Not because people are bad, but because they're desperate, stealing food, shoplifting hygiene products, panhandling aggressively. These aren't acts of violence, they're cries for help. The truth is, when people are cornered, hungry, sick, scared, they do what they must to survive. And in the shadows of America, survival comes with a heavy cost. The broken system. In America, we often hear that if you work hard, you'll succeed, that everyone has a shot. But for millions of poor and homeless people, that promise is broken. The systems that are supposed to help, welfare, healthcare, housing programs, job assistance, are tangled in red tape. Getting help isn't easy. It's a maze of applications, ID requirements, interviews, and waiting lists. For someone living on the street who's lost their phone, ID, and stability, navigating that system becomes almost impossible. Then there's shelters. Some are helpful, but many are unsafe, overcrowded, or come with strict rules. No pets, curfews, religious attendance, no couples. For someone with trauma or mental illness, these environments can feel like prison, not refuge. And if you've been arrested, maybe for sleeping in public, loitering, or petty theft, that criminal record follows you forever. Try getting a job with that. Try applying for housing. One mistake on the street can close doors for life. What about jobs? People say, why don't they just get a job? But try this. Show up to an interview without clean clothes. No phone number, no address, no transportation, no shower, no identification. You won't make it through the door. The truth is, the system isn't built to lift people out of poverty. It's built to manage them, to keep them quiet, to push them from block to block, city to city, to hide them, not help them. And every year it gets harder. Rents go up, wages stay flat, public housing shrinks, shelters close, healthcare costs rise. Meanwhile, the rich get richer. Developers build luxury condos next to tent camps. The gap widens, and those at the bottom are blamed for falling through it. This system isn't broken. It's working exactly as designed, to protect wealth, not people. Escaping the cycle. Climbing out of poverty in America isn't just hard, it's like trying to run uphill with chains around your feet. Let's say someone is homeless, but they want to get back on their feet. First, they need a job. But to get a job, they need an ID, clean clothes, a phone number, maybe a place to stay. They need to look presentable, be reachable. But without those things, they can't get hired. And without a job, they can't afford those things. That's the cycle. It doesn't stop there. Many homeless people face fines and legal fees from tickets or arrests. Can't pay them? They pile up. Warrants are issued. That leads to jail time, which sets them back even further. Try applying for housing with an eviction on your record, or a felony. Even if you've changed, society doesn't forget. Landlords screen applicants. Employers run background checks. One mistake becomes a lifelong sentence, and if someone is addicted, good luck finding affordable rehab. Most programs have long wait lists. Others cost thousands. And even if they get clean, the The stress of living on the street makes relapse likely. There's no stability to support recovery. Now imagine someone gets a minimum wage job. That's about $1,300 to $1,500 a month after taxes. In most American cities, rent alone is over $1,200. So what now? Live in a car while working full-time? For many, that's the only choice. The truth is, escaping poverty in America requires more than just motivation. It requires support, real support, housing first, mental health care, job training, a second chance, and then a third, and patience. People don't stay homeless because they're lazy. They stay homeless because the world gave up on them. And because once you're at the bottom, climbing out isn't just hard, it's almost impossible without a rope. So now we ask the question, what kind of country are we? A country with billionaires launching rockets into space, but veterans sleeping in the dirt. A country where empty luxury condos sit across the street from families living in tents. A country that spends billions on wars, but can't guarantee housing, food, or medical care for its own people. We say we care, we post about compassion, we vote for change, but every day we walk past human suffering as if it's background noise. We've normalized the sight of someone begging for food. We've become numb to the cries of those with nowhere to go. This isn't just an economic failure, it's a moral one. Poverty is not a crime. Being homeless is not a character flaw. Addiction, illness, trauma, these are not choices. They're consequences of a society that values profit over people. If we want to fix this, it starts with empathy, with understanding, with seeing the homeless man not as a threat, but as someone who was once a child, a worker, a student, a dreamer, just like us. And then we need action. Policies that prioritize housing, not punishment. Mental health care that is free and available. Jobs that pay enough to live. Rent control. Addiction treatment. A real safety net. This is not about charity. It's about justice. It's about choosing to be a country that lifts its people instead of letting them fall. Because the question isn't just, why are so many people poor? The question is, why do we allow it to continue? America has the money. It has the space. It has the power. Now it needs the will. If you've watched this far, thank you. The next time you see someone on the street, don't just look away. See them. Remember their story. Share this video. Start the conversation. Because the only thing worse than poverty is pretending it doesn't exist.